Just a few years ago, the future of the Tigers was looking pretty bleak. While the Tigers have been able to develop plenty of good pitchers, they haven't been able to develop that many good bats recently. But this past season has showed us a lot of hope for the future. Obviously, you have Riley Greene, who in his first season playing over 100 games has proven himself as one of the best outfielders in the American League. Colt Keith has overcome his early season struggles and had a crazy month back in July. He looks like he could be a really big piece of this team moving forward. You also have Wenceel Perez, who has become a fan favorite through his hustle and grit. I'm also going to consider Kerry Carpenter as a younger guy. I know he's 26, but he's only played just over 200 games in the majors through his whole career. If he didn't get hurt this year, we would be looking at a 30 home run season for him. Without a doubt, Kerry is going to be a big part of this team moving forward. If Parker Meadows can find some consistency, he could be a really good player. I mean, he's got speed, he's got a little bit of pop here and there, he's very good defensively, so as long as he just kind of ties it all together, he can stick around for a while. You also have Justin Henry Malloy, who I know he got sent down recently, but he has some major upside in my opinion. He has all the tools to be a big leaguer, but just like Parker Meadows, he needs more consistency. Then the three guys who just got called up very recently, Dylan Dingler, Jace Young, and Trey Sweeney. All three of those players could be very good one day. It's too early to judge if they can really stick around and make a difference, but they can all make an impact, especially if one of them could hit the ground running and have a hot bat right out of the gate. But it's not just the guys who are in the majors right now. Hao-Yu Lee has been tearing it up in AA. Max Clark and Bryce Rayner could be good, but they're both really young, they're fresh out of high school, so it's going to take a little bit before we can really get an idea on if they're going to pan out, but they have some big upside to them. Kevin McGonigal is another player who was drafted right out of high school and could be very good for us. Thayron Lorenzo has been playing really good in West Michigan also after being traded to the Tigers. Justice Bigbie has cooled off since his great 2023 season, but I still think that he could be up in the bigs by maybe as soon as next year. Scott Harris has a lot of pieces in this farm system. It is now his job and the job of all the coaches at every level of this organization to put these guys in the best position to succeed. In the next 5 years, we could be one of the best teams in baseball. We have a great pitching staff, including this year's Cy Young frontrunner. I haven't even talked that much about Sawyer Gipson-Long, Ty Madden, or Jackson Jobe. The Tigers the past few years haven't struggled with pitching. It's always been our bats. Knowing the Tigers, it is entirely possible all of these guys end up being decent big leaguers at best, with no stars emerging out of the bunch. I would like to have faith in this organization, and I would like to think that they could develop at least 2 good bats out of these guys, but it's tough to have that kind of faith in a team like the Tigers.
And what I mean when I say it's tough to have faith in them, the past decade has been really rough for Tigers fans and the Tigers organization. And I mean, this is a franchise that hasn't won a World Series in 4 decades. And I get it. It could be worse. There are longer droughts out there. There are droughts that are 50, 60, 70 years long. But we are tied for the longest active playoff drought in Major League Baseball with the Angels, and it is approaching 10 years. The last time we made the playoffs was 2014. And what makes it even more painful is that those playoff teams in 2012, 2013, and 2014 were all legitimate World Series contenders. And each time, they fell short. Each time there was some freak injury or some weird thing that happened, or we were just straight up unlucky and just couldn't get hot. Like, everything that could have went wrong ended up going wrong once we got to the postseason. So it's just really tough to just kind of put faith into this team and be like, yeah, they'll develop Jace Young and Trey Sweeney and Justin Henry Malloy, and we'll keep around Wenceel Perez, and Colt Keith is going to pan out, and Kerry Carpenter and Riley Greene are going to start staying healthy even though they have injury problems the past few years, and we're going to be able to keep together this whole pitching rotation. We're not going to do anything stupid with Reese Olson or Tarek Skubal. I mean, it's just really tough to trust the Tigers and that they're going to do that. Now, don't get me wrong. I hope they do. I am praying. I'm begging for the Tigers to be able to do that and be good enough to do that. But this video is not me saying, like, guaranteed in the next few years we're gonna be that team. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be one of the best organizations in baseball. This is me saying we have the potential to be one of the best teams in baseball. We just need to realize it, and we just need to capitalize on that potential. This is a cat. But yeah, we just need to be able to develop these guys and put them in the best spot to succeed, and actually realize that we have something special here. We just need to get it to that point, to that full potential. But yeah, and I know it sounds like I'm being really negative right now, and I kind of am. So I'm going to try to be a bit more positive here. The positive is we have that potential to be that good. Like, we have guys in this organization that are really good baseball players. We have good international prospects, and we have good prospects that we've drafted. So we've got a good mix, and we've got good pitching prospects and good bats coming up. There's a lot of young guys that I am really excited to see how they pan out and where they go in this league, because they all have insane potential. And the same with this front office. Like, you have AJ Hinch, who's known for, like, he's known for rebuilding the Astros and taking them from where they were to where they would eventually be and what they would eventually become. And then you have Scott Harris, who kind of did a similar thing with the Giants. It was a much shorter time period, and it was less accomplished. But Scott Harris is still a really young guy, especially for an executive. And I think that over the long term, he could take this franchise where we want to go. So, and you have Chris Federer, who is an amazing pitching coach. Like, we need to sign him to a lifetime contract and keep him around for the next 30 years, because that guy is a pitching guru. Honestly, he might go on to be a manager somewhere, unfortunately for us, but fortunately for him. So, this team is just overall has a lot of potential and could go really far one day. It just hurts because, like, we've seen this before with the Tigers, where they have potential. They could be really good. They've got all these pieces in place. They could go all the way, and they don't. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope that they can finally win a World Series for the first time since 1984 and avenge the losses in 2006 and 2012. But anyways, I'm Limitless Bulls. I'll see you guys next time. Go Tigers.
But you get the mix right, nigga, put it in the blender. Hell yeah, I'm Wingstop. Bitch, I'm selling chicken tender. It's like I got the beef from Energy and water like Kimber. Hey, turning, looking like dinner. It's like I got the bag, boy or girl.